Look, we have to talk about it, because if we didn't talk about your body changing as you're healing your relationship with food, and in particular what weight gain means to you, then we would be missing a huge part of this experience for you. It can be really scary to gain weight after decades, years, a lifetime of doing every single thing in your power to try to control your body shape and size. So you start off this journey thinking, okay, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of food rules. I'm tired of dieting. I like this idea of intuitive eating. I don't want to be stuck in cycles of disordered eating. You start to do all the things, and then there's this panic that comes up. I started to gain weight, and a lot of fear arises. You might noticing, thinking, should I even be doing this? Is this a bad idea? Why is my body doing this? Am I not healthy? And so many other questions that can come up as you gain weight when you are healing your relationship with food. So I want to talk about it with you. Why is it that you might be gaining weight as you give up dieting? Why is this a normal part of the healing experience? So in this video, we're gonna dive into just that. Why you gain weight when you stop dieting, what's actually happening in that process, what weight cycling is and how this fits into all of it, and why giving up dieting is one of the most health promoting things, in my opinion, that you can do for yourself. Be sure to check out the free resource that I created for you below, which are tips and guidance around exactly this, how to navigate fear that arises naturally when you are healing your relationship with food in your body around gaining weight. We have to be addressing this head on, and so this resource is perfect for a supplement to what we're going to be diving into in this video now. My name is Catherine Metzelar. I'm a registered dietitian, certified intuitive eating counselor, and eating disorder specialist, here to help you create peace with food and your body, so that all of it takes up less headspace and you can live your life with more freedom, abundance, and joy.
You definitely want to take a listen to this.
I'm gonna be as real and honest as I can be with you in saying that the majority of people that I have worked with over the course of my career come into this work to work with me being weight suppressed. And why does that matter in the context of you gaining weight or your body changing when you give up dieting? It's because no matter what size body you're in, you can be at a weight that your body does not want to be in. And when I say a weight that your body doesn't want to be in, it means that you have to specifically engage in certain disordered behaviors, food restriction, food control, over-exercise, in order to maintain your body shape and size. If you have to do all of those things, it likely means that your body is not at the size and shape that it feels most comfortable and safe. So why does this matter? Because then you start giving up dieting. You stop following all the food rules, you stop engaging in all the things that you used to, and then you gain weight and you think all the things in your mind. I'm a failure, I'm doing this wrong, never mind, I'm gonna go back to dieting. When really, this is your body for the first time in maybe your whole life or some time actually getting consistent nutrition, getting consistent energy. And so there's an adjustment that needs to take place. And also, you may have been weight suppressed, so under the weight that your body feels comfortable being in for some time. In addition to this, and continuing to talk about the whys of why you gain weight when you stop dieting, not only are lots of people weight suppressed when they stop dieting and then therefore their body starts to change, as mentioned, another reason is dieting is a significant contributor to weight gain over time. I will pause and repeat that. Dieting is a significant contributor to weight gain over time. This is because the body cannot distinguish the difference between starvation, not having access to food, not getting enough food, and you choosing to intentionally engage in a diet or a program in which your body is not getting enough food. So what happens and why does that even matter? Well, because the body makes adaptations. It changes in the context of not getting enough food. And what does it do? It slows your metabolism down because it's doing this as a way to protect you. It's doing this as a way to make sure that it's not using up the energy that you give it really quickly and then not having any energy left over afterwards. And so we've seen curiously, and there's some interesting research from The Biggest Loser in regards to long-term changes around people's metabolic rates. The body is really wise, and whether you like it or not, it's going going to make changes when it's not getting enough food. One of that is slowing down the metabolic rate. And so over time, we've seen that people's metabolic rate doesn't change once they, for example, stop dieting and eating regularly. So this is why, in part, we say that dieting is one of the greatest contributors to weight gain over time. It's because the adaptations or the changes that the body makes in the context of dieting. So of course, once you stop dieting, your body then may change or likely will change because you've been weight suppressed and because your body's like, oh my goodness, finally we're getting enough food, enough energy, enough nutrition. And simultaneously, your metabolism has slowed down as a way to protect you, as a way to keep you alive. Now you're probably thinking, okay, so my metabolism has slowed down, so that means I need to diet harder or go on some kind of program or go back to what I know well. And maybe you're starting to panic and freak out a little bit. Take a deep breath. No need to go back to dieting, no need to go back to cutting out foods. This is simply information to help support you in understanding more about what is happening and why it's happening. There is not enough, I don't think, that's talked about in regards to how harmful diets are, and in particular weight cycling. And I know you know it because you've been on diets, you lose weight, you gain the weight back plus more, and then you go on another diet, you lose weight, you gain the weight back plus more. And this is a protection mechanism, going back to the wisdom of your body. Your body is trying to do its best to keep you alive, and that is part of what is happening as you gain weight. We know that weight cycling is really, really hard on the body, and some of the health consequences of weight cycling are elevated blood pressure, slowed metabolism, increase in metabolic syndrome, weakened bones, increased risk of cardiovascular disease and diabetes, elevated levels of stress and cortisol, and overall increased risk of mortality. All the things that have been historically blamed on the fat on your body or somebody else's body when it comes to health and well-being and ill health, we're learning more and more is related to weight cycling, going up and down and up and down. So if there are fears for you as you start to gain weight around your health and well-being, I want you to know that one of the most health promoting things that you can do for yourself is not diet anymore and allow your body to be stable. What we want to be avoiding are those really highs and lows that you experience when you go through weight cycling as a result of under eating and undernourishment, aka dieting, aka disordered eating. But you're likely wondering, and so what? What do I do with this information? Now that I know these things that are very sort of heady, what then do I do in practice? What happens if you are feeling, which you likely are, fear around your body continuing to change? You're feeling fear around continuous weight gain. You're feeling fear of, oh my gosh, what is my life gonna be like now that my body is changing in shape and size, now that you have given up dieting and food restrictions. So now's the time when we transition into feeling, which can be a really difficult part of this. And what I mean by this more specifically is the first thing that I want you to do today and right now is to take a moment and breathe and pause and honor how difficult this is, how difficult this work is to do in the culture that we exist in that is filled with weight stigma, with anti-fatness, and that you may be experiencing very real repercussions or experiences or loss of privileges out in the world as you do this very brave work. The second thing that I want you to do is really lean into compassion like you have never leaned into compassion before. And compassion simply means that you are going to be kind and gentle with yourself in this process. It doesn't mean anything else besides honoring, just like I said, the difficulty. And that sounds and looks like when you're having a hard body image day, when there are thoughts that come up about your body or the shape of your body, you honor that it is a moment of pain and suffering. You connect to the fact that you are not alone in this, that there are other people experiencing this, and that this is hard, right? We don't want to dismiss or push away the difficulty of this. And I think by honoring and taking time and space to just realize the difficulty, we can practice compassion for your own journey, compassion for likely all the things that are going to come up along the way, all the memories, all the experiences, all the feelings that you have had in your body now that you're giving up dieting. The third thing is you are going to have to connect to your why. You have to write down the why. Why are you doing this hard work? Why did you decide to give up dieting? Why did you decide to stop following restrictive eating patterns? Why did you decide to no longer engage in disordered eating? You have to know your why, because this is not going to be the only difficult thing, but this is likely one of the more difficult parts of this journey and process, your body changing in shape and size. And you are gonna have to, in those moments when all you wanna do is go back to dieting, all you wanna do is engage in those restrictive behaviors, you're gonna need to come back to the why. Not only the why in the here and now of why are you doing this, but also thinking about what you want on the other side of it. Yes, you may be in a different body, but what are the things that you want to experience? What are the things that when you are so caught up in dieting and restricting and feeling afraid of food that you couldn't do, that you couldn't experience? Was it travel? Was it time with your kids? Was it seeking out a partnership? Was it going after certain jobs? Was it just being present to yourself in this very short life that you have? What is it that is driving the here and now, your why, and what is it on the other side of this that you want to be experiencing? Now, let me be clear that this isn't going to eliminate the difficulty of why you're doing what you're doing, but it can help bring you back to like, why am I doing this? Why am I gonna push myself to do something difficult when I don't even know what's gonna happen on the other side? You gotta connect to those two pieces. The fourth thing is that you are going to have to get to know grief very well. Grief applies to many different things that we experience in our life, and grieving is an essential part of healing our relationship with our body. You have to grieve bodies past, the bodies that you used to have, the bodies that you used to exist in, and you need to grieve your future body. This thin ideal that you likely have had in your head or bodies that you've been in the past. And that grieving process is difficult, painful, and necessary in order to get to a place of okayness or acceptance with your body. And lastly, because of the weight gain that you may be experiencing due to giving up dieting and food restriction, is that you are going to need to examine your beliefs about fat and fatness. Because naturally, when your body starts to change, all the things that you have believed that definitely exist inside of you, because if you are human on this planet, you can't really avoid these beliefs in many ways, especially in American culture, that those beliefs exist inside of you. And then when you start to gain weight, then all of those beliefs start to bubble up. Things that you've been told about fat, things that you've been told about your health and fat on your body, things about what it means to be attractive or desirable, or anything else that arises, not to mention if you are in a larger body, the various difficulties that you may experience or are experiencing of not being able to fit in spaces and being discriminated against. But nonetheless, there is going to be a lot there that's really worth examining, from going back to what I said a moment ago, from a compassionate place. There is no judgment. This is a judgment-free zone in regards to the things that exist inside of you, because how could they not, right? How could they not, considering the culture that we live in? How could they not, considering how much you've been told about fat and body size, especially as it relates to your own sexuality, your own identity, your own gender, your own sex, right? All of those things need to be considered, and it is an invitation for you to examine your beliefs about fat and about fatness, and to understand the weight stigma that you may hold about yourself or about others. In summary, we've talked about why you gain weight when you stop dieting, why it's actually health promoting to stop dieting because of no longer experiencing weight cycling, what are the health implications of weight cycling, why it's normal and natural for your body to change in shape and size, and 5 things that you can do right now, today, to begin to explore, to begin to understand if you are in this place where you are starting to gain weight after stopping dieting, but you don't know what to do now. You're not sure what to do and you're feeling scared. And I want this to be a reminder to you that you are doing really brave work. And so please, please, please have compassion for yourself. Please connect where you can to anyone that is doing this work so that you can feel slightly less alone. And of course, I always recommend, if it's something that's accessible to you, to get support from a dietitian that specializes in eating disorders, disordered eating, and body image healing. If you like this video, I always appreciate a like below. Be sure to check out that free resource if you are feeling afraid of gaining weight, also down there. And I will see you back here soon.